uh, uh, opportunity to be here once again to talk about or continue on the subject of introduction. And this has been a subject we've been discussing for a while now, and we shall continue with the subject. So, today, how do you use a statement in order to make a very effective introduction? Just before I continue on the subject, I'd like to ask you to kindly subscribe to my channel and then like and share so that I can get more subscribers. So, without much to do, let's move right into the subject. How do you use a statement in order to make an effective introduction? There are different ways of making a proper introduction, and we have spoken about some of them. We talked about using of questions. We have using of life experience. We'll talk about other ones later. Today, we will be talking about this, just the statement alone. So, a statement is something that you say without expecting that a response, like a question, which normally you would expect a response. Okay, but for a statement, you just make an utterance. You make you can state a fact, you can say a fact, or you say something which you believe or others might believe to be true. Okay, so how do you use a statement then to make an introduction? Well, the first thing that you must understand if you have to use a statement to make an introduction is that number one, it can be a little bit dicey because you can just make any statement to make an introduction. Introduction should be something which will grab the attention of the audience, not just grab, but hold also the attention of the audience until you can bring your main points in. All right. So if you don't have a proper introduction, your audience minds would not be brought from wherever it's lost to your subject, because when you begin a speech or you begin a sales presentation, your audience minds are distracted from other things. They probably have been thinking about various issues before you start your presentation. Okay, so the objective of your introduction is to grab their attention and hold it until you can give your message, because your message is not your introduction. Of course, it may be, it may contain your introduction, but it's not the introduction. Okay, so if you just go about and make any kind of statement, then your audience may not be interested. Okay, you may be saying something and you may have a message, and if you begin your introduction by just saying something that is so irrelevant and not interesting and not important at all, your audience will not be interested in your message. The minds will be wherever it was before you started speaking in the first place. Okay, so the first thing to remember is that if you're making a statement as a form of introduction, the statement must be something which is important. It must be related to the message, the overall message you're going to deliver. Okay, so the first type of statement that you could make would be a statement of general fact. Now, this is very effective because when you make a statement about general fact, assumably, most people in your audience would be in agreement with this general fact. All right. So, for example, let's assume that this statement I'm about to make is a general fact. So I say that business is war. As an introduction, maybe my general message is that business, there are difficulties in business. You have to use strategies. You have to use various tactics in business, financial tactics, and all that, marketing tactics, strategies, and all that. So this is your message that is going to come in the presentation. Okay. So as an introduction, you are going to talk about. As an introduction, you're making a statement and you're comparing business to war, assuming, again, assuming that your audience agree and they believe and they know that it's a fact that business is war. So you make the statement that we all know that business is war. Okay? So this is a general statement, a general fact that you're making that your audience agrees with. So by making this general statement, your audience is going to relate to this. But also, some of them may not have considered this before, may not have thought about this. So, by making a general statement that they do agree with, they now begin to see things in a different perspective, and they say, that's a very interesting perspective. If the person has, sorry, there's a fly trying to disturb me. So, if a person, if he, this speaker, if the speaker is able to put things in this perspective that I have not considered before, then he must have something important and interesting to say. So let me listen and see what he say. So you see, then the audience wants to hear more. Okay. But if you begin a statement, you're talking about how business involves strategies, tactics, and all that. mm, And then you begin a general statement by talking about, the I'm happy to be here to talk to you guys. And talking to you guys, it's good, Um, so we want to talk about business strategies and all that. You see, you're just talking about something that has not grabbed their attention. Okay, that is not interesting. All right, how you making a statement, but irrelevant statements, uninteresting statement, pointless and not, you know, not very effective. Okay, so you want to make a statement that is a general fact that they all agree with. All right, you could say that there cannot be a nation without a good economy, or you cannot have a powerful nation without a good economy. You would agree with me. So it must be something which the audience would agree with. And one trick to use is to begin your presentation by saying you would agree with me. That's a very effective trick you use. But if you are going to use the statement you would agree with me, then it has to be a statement which your audience will agree with. Not just you saying that you would agree with me and then you make a statement that you don't agree with, then the point of saying that you would agree with me is totally moot. Okay? So that's the first thing. Then the second thing to do is also make a statement which is not a general fact, but is a self-evident fact. So the Declaration of Independence of the United States, we hold this as self-evident that all men are created equal. So you begin your statement, your introduction to your presentation to your audience. We hold this fact as self-evident that all men are created equal. So which means you're beginning a statement which is true for you. Okay? All right? But which not just is true for you, but is likely to be accepted by members of your audience. Okay? And you can only make this statement, as in the case of the Declaration of Independence, whereby you are seen as authority, where you command respect, then you make the statement. So what it means is that you are an opinion leader. So your opinions matter. But if your opinions don't matter and you don't have a command of authority over others and you make a statement which is self-evident for you, it wouldn't hold any weight for your audience. All right? So remember, you have to make a statement which holds weight and you have to make a statement when and if you have the authority. Okay, so you make a statement which is self-evident, true for you, but not necessarily true for your audience, but because of your authority that you hold, the respect you hold, people can accept and value that statement, and so they are willing to listen. Okay, so your audience will more likely pay attention to what you're saying. All right, so that's another way you can make a statement, which is not necessarily a general fact, but will be respected. Okay, then the third way you can make a statement, which is a very effective way of having an introduction, is to make a statement which is true both for you and the audience you're in. Okay, so which means in this case, there's maybe you might have an interest group, or the people that you are speaking to are people who believe in your cause, or who have the same cause as you do. Okay, so you make a statement which all of you agree with. It may not be a general fact. All right, so you could say that, okay, we the people of Persia, or we the people of Babylon are the most powerful in history. We know that. You see, this may be false for others who are not Babylonians or Persians or Greeks, but it's for you and your audience, it's true. So this is a statement which is true for you and your audience. So you make that statement as a way of starting your presentation or your speech, and it will grab their attention. Okay, so you can do that. But this may not be effective if you have to do a sales presentation to people who do not believe. You're trying to convince people who do not have share the beliefs you have. Okay, if you're trying to make a sales presentation, you're selling something to someone, and you make a statement which is only true for you, or you assume that it's true for all of you, but it's not necessarily true for your prospects, then you would be defeating your objectives from the very get-go. Right. So these are various ways that you can use a statement to start a fact. Another way you can also use a statement which is very effective is to start. It's a bit dicey, but you can actually use it. You can spin it very well if you know what to do. You can use a statement by stating. You can begin an introduction by stating the theme. If you already have a theme, perhaps you have a written theme and your audience knows the theme, you can actually go and just read the theme again. Normally, this will be effective in an academic setting. Mhm. To be effective in an academic setting, all right? So you just read the theme again, they already have it. Then you begin by a little bit of a chit chat there. We're going to talk about this topic today. And you begin with something which is uninteresting, but then this has to be with audience that are very attentive to what you're about to say, and to a mature audience who are very interested in what you have to say. So with these kind of people, you would then begin by just wrangling a little, having a little chit chat, with your audience, and stating the theme. Then before you get into the real deal. So that's it. So that's it from me today. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Please subscribe, share, and like, so that you help the channel. Goodbye, and see you next time. Bye.